Okay, so let's get into the session. I'm gonna stop my video. Hope that's okay, right? So that we'll have a good clarity for on both the ends. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. So for the next 50 to 60 minutes, we'll be discussing about the role of technology in education. Um, as Sondre was like talking, I have around more than 5 years of experience only in teaching, and then on most of the corporate job that I held, it's also like related to teaching, where I was managing a lot of virtual programs even before this COVID came up. So and also like I hold a master's, and my second master's is through virtual education. And so I think I'm uh, can like talk about this as a student as well as a faculty member who educated through virtually. So I think this topic is kind of little close to my heart, and I'm kind of inclined towards this kind of new things happening in education. So thank you, Kanchan, for approaching me there for this. And yeah, I guess the crowd is kind of mixed up. We have students as well as people who wanted to get into education, the future educators. So I think I want this discussion to be a little interactive. If you got any questions, you can just like interrupt me, and then you can talk it out, and then at the end we're just going to discuss about few things. Okay, so please make it little interactive so that I can also learn from you guys, and you can also like learn. Okay. Okay, according to Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. I'm a complete believer of this quote, and I'm always passionate about education and how it actually transform a human being. I always believe when a person, when a human is born, I mean, when he doesn't get any kind of education, any kind of exposure to what's happening in the world, he might get into real wrong things, and then can turn into a very bad person. Whereas when he's like educated right through the in home as well as in the schools, he can be anyone who can change the world. So yes, it's true, it's very very true. So and then when you like wanted to get into education, you actually going to transform the lives of very very um, you know underprivileged people as well as privileged people. Yeah, it can be anything, but still you're going to change the way the world works. That's how I see it. That's how I see educators. I'm always like inspired by my professors and all, and that's how I came into education field. I'm glad you're also planning to get into this. And I feel a teacher affects eternity. They can never tell when their influence stops. And most of us can relate to this. We still remember our grade one teacher, and then we always have a favorite teacher when we growing up, and we really wanted to impress them. Yes, it happens to everybody, at least most of them. And then we always think about them when we're growing up, and if you really like the way they teach, if they really teach well, you always think back, okay, oh, in this situation we had this kind of classes, and then I think we should follow that approach, because I'm doing that same thing. And then that's why I'm telling you this. My teachers have a great influence on me. I still keep in touch with them. I discuss with them if there is any problems that I have in life, or any major decision that I have taken in my life. I still discuss with them. So they have like affected me. They've influenced me. So I feel like it happens to everybody. I'm just like gonna take this session from my experience as a teacher, and as well as a student. Okay. Okay, this education, all the industries is kind of changing. The way the cars are manufactured 50, 60 years back was completely different. It's kind of all man-made, but right now we have robots doing it, the assembly. And you know and when you like compare it to any other industry, the way we shop, It is completely changed, right? Always you have to like go to the store, and then get you have to pick, and then you have to like stand on a queue, and then like pay the bills and come back. And when you pay your electricity bill or EB bill, yes, you have to like go to the um, office and pay it. But right now it's completely changed. All the industries is changing except for education. Even when we had this gurukul system long time back, there was a teacher or a guru was like sitting, and then the pupil will sitting near him, and they'll just like listen what they're talking. But right now it's completely changed, and thanks to COVID, because of that, the way education is like is done. The things are being taught in a very very different way. You just have to have your tablet or a smartphone or a laptop, and then you can just like learn a new course. And sometimes you don't have to even get enrolled in a university for a master's or for a bachelor's. You can just go to Coursera or Udemy, or you can just like enroll for a program sometimes for free, and then you can just like learn it. And then you can also like get your nano degrees, master degrees virtually. It's all possible right now thanks to the development of technology. And this COVID is completely going to change the way the education was like provided before 2020 and after 2020. So we are right now in the transition phase, where we have the brick and mortar colleges and universities, and they're trying to like go to online mode of education. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so let's see first like how this COVID-19 pandemic will alter the future of education in both teaching as well as learning, in both in educators perspective and as also in student perspective. Okay, so do you guys have anything to add on this? Do you guys think, okay, what's going to happen after this COVID-19 pandemic, everything gets over, everybody get vaccinated, and how it's going to change? Any guesses? Anyone wants to talk about that?
Ma'am, I feel that after this pandemic situation, the children will be more hooked towards their tablets and laptops. So it will take some time for us to bring them out of it and take them to the regular way of teaching. So we'll be able to do it only with the help of uh, interactive presentations in the class.
Yeah, that's very true, Shalini. Thank you for like sharing this. Um, so it's going to be a little challenging for us as well to make the class more interesting. So do you think that's a positive sign or a negative?
Actually, I feel that it is a positive sign because it will make us more interactive and the way the children like it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's going to provide a very good experience as well for us as well as for the kids. But we have to work on bringing on the interactive content. So I think like we only cannot build that. So maybe we must have to rely on technology again, going for some interactive tools to provide them education. There's a lot of tools available in the market, yes, for that. So any other points apart from Shalini?
Nothing from my side, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So anybody wants to share anything? How this COVID gonna impact education? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so are you guys like seeing my slides, or I think it's gone, I guess, right?
Yes, ma'am, the screen is not visible right now.
Yeah, yeah, just a minute. Is it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I definitely feel that there's going to be a lot of changes happening after this COVID-19 gets over, especially in the area of education. So there's a lot of changes going to come, but I'm like gonna like talk about only the three things that gonna really impact the way we're gonna educate. Okay, the first prediction is the blended learning. So right now we have always school, it can be a school children or college graduates, the way they're gonna get into the college or school, study and come back in the evening, so their day's gonna look completely different. So it's not only it's not I'm saying this as actually there's a lot of research done by a lot of educationists, and then a lot of universities abroad, so they came up with this kind of prediction. So I'm just like I refer that. There's a paper published on this that I'm just like referring that. If you want, I can give you the link of that paper later. So the prediction number first, as I said, like this blended learning. So when the college kids like get usually log in at 9 a.m. in the college if it is a normal day, and then come out at 4 or 5, depends on the college schedule, and then and we don't think that's going to happen over a period of time. So there'll be like flexible days. Few days you can just try to log in online, and then few days you can just like come to college, and few working days going to be completely free. I'm not talking about what's happening in Tips Global. They're like doing completely different. They are already into a blended learning approach. I'm talking about the normal colleges, normal universities, what they're going to do after this COVID-19, and what the government is going to implement after few months of this time. So that's what's going to happen. The blended learning, both the brick and mortar learning and then online learning going to come together, and then they have to like get adapted to both of those approaches. But people who the primary caregivers, and especially the parents who has to like take the burden a little more, because usually we had like teachers who are taking care of the kids from 9 to 5, and then they just come home after 5 o'clock, and then they just have to the parents have to take care of the kids in the evenings. But things going to change, so this might lead to a lot of aftercare and crèche facilities, increase. All these things going to happen, especially for the school children. And for the college going kids, I mean, they might get into a lot of part-time jobs, and so that they can get a real world experience. So that's how things going to change. And the prediction number 2, so here online education will be a priority for every institution. So they'll be started providing degrees which can happen only online. It can be masters or bachelors. So here the location becomes becomes the least important factor. In the olden days, when college kids want to like choose a college, they always think, okay, I don't want to leave the city that I've grown up, or I want to stay with my parents. So most of the parents are also like not interested in sending their kids to different city for education. So this gonna like this online education is gonna change everything. So you can just sit in Coimbatore or Chennai, and you can just like get a degree from Harvard or Stanford. That's gonna come in the future, and already there's a lot of universities, even the top universities globally, has started providing online education. And prediction number 3 is the scale and intensity of this university company partnerships gonna increase. So usually, in a typical MSc or engineering programs, what happens is like they just study for 4-5 years, and then they just go to an internship for 6 months, or like for 2 semesters, and then they come back. Right. So but in the way when they get into the online modes, so they spend a lot of time with the companies, and the companies might give projects to the universities, research projects, so they can like the partnership between these universities and companies, it's going to be like, very much high, so that the students will have a they don't have to work on the transition from being a student to an employee. So this online management program is going to really help in this transition phase, and the company is going to get benefited a lot because they can get their job done with minimal pay, and as well as the university is going to get a lot of projects from the companies. So it's going to be a win-win situation for all the three parties: the students, the universities, as well as for the corporates. So yeah, this is the three predictions that's been like the most important things that going to change. But apart from this COVID-19, so when we just like look into how this technology will gonna change education is, it's completely going to change the way we teach. Yes, we are just like going to a virtual mode of education only because of this COVID-19, but right now, but after this, this virtual education is going to become an agenda in any of the professors' life. It's going to be a way of life for students as well as professors in the universities, and it's going to change the way the educators interacting with the students. So usually, we just, sit and talk, and then if they want to mentor, we sit on each side of the table and then talk about it. But the thing's going to be different. We're just going to like do everything on Zoom or Google Meet or any other platform that the university has. So the way we talk to students, it's going to be completely different, and the expectations that we have among the students. So usually we expect the students to be like, submitting all your assignments on time, and then, we expect, to have them like, respect. Usually this is the, usual expectations for professor from a student, right? They want them to respect, and then want them to have a good attitude, and then the way they conduct themselves, everything. They want the students to be perfect, but all this cannot be like monitored online most of the times. So the personality development of a student might be on the downside when we go into this kind of virtual mode of education. Yes, that's very true. And then and it's going to be a very big boon for the professors, because uh, you can just really teach without, you don't have to like worry about anything else, the paperworks, you make monitoring the class and all this. The educators doesn't have to worry about it, because you can just work on your coursework, and then like provide a very quality class, because you don't have any of the distractions when you have in a normal school or college time. So if you're already teaching, if you're already in this profession, you will definitely understand this, because I'm going through this, because I find there's a lot of quality time right now, so that I can like spend more time on my research, and then on my developing a quality content and learning new things. Okay, so when you like introduce a new technology to into education or in any other field, there's a process that you should be like following. So one of the most popular approach, to be followed when you integrate technology in education is called ACOT stages. So it has like 5 phases. The first one is like the entry phase, where the professors just learn the basics of new technology. Even that's what happened when we started lockdown, and then we started going into the initial days of online education. There's a lot of seminars and trainings is like provided for the professors as well as for the school teachers to make them use online portals, and then and also the virtual meeting sessions, all these things. It was done. That's the entry phase, and after that, then when you like the professors and the school teachers, they start using this new technology initially, so that they can proceed with their traditional instruction method. So they just use Zoom or Google Meet just to deliver their traditional lecture. And then what they do is like they want to provide a good experience for their students, so they just go to some online resources usually in the class we just provide them worksheets or like give them case studies to work on, but in this online mode of education it's going to be completely different. So here you go to some tools or apps or some websites so that they can work on some puzzles or case studies so that they can make it little you can make your classes more interesting and interactive. And then the adaptation phase here, you know you integrate both your traditional practice into this new technology. In this phase, the professors and teachers gets very much comfortable in using this. They're not struggling as when compared to the previous phases. And in the fourth stage, appropriation stage, where the students also get comfortable, and this is where that becomes the new normal. So here the real change starts. Okay, so they start doing projects, and they get a lot of interest, and they got inspired, and that becomes a new way of life for them. And then in the final stage they discover new uses from this technology. Okay, so sometimes if there is a doubt in the class or something, sometimes if they couldn't do it, they might try to approach the teacher and then connect with them after office hours, and then they discuss about it. This has been happening. I'm just talking about and the functional point of view, but there's a lot of universities right now developing their own online exams too, so that they started integrating more technology into their education cycle. Okay, so these are the 5 stages that at all the universities and education institutions right now going through. Okay, so let's see how this current trend is kind of helping the educators. The first one is work from home option. So I don't think that no professor or a school teacher would have thought in their life that they're going to work from home. Yes, it is applicable for any business professional or IT professional or ITES, whoever can work from home, but not for it's not applicable for the educators. But it has this COVID-19 and the current trend has completely changed the way we work, and actually we can work on a real better course delivery. That's what I was saying. You get more quality time because you don't have to spend your time on the less important things, especially the paperwork, as you have to sit in the college or a school while you're doing it. And then if you have more time, as obviously you can spend more time on research, and then you can work on your publication, so that you're also not getting benefited because of that. The college gets a credit, as well as if it is very good research, it's going to help the community, right? And this current trend leads to a lot of acceptance of technology interference in the education system. So usually the educators, the universities are kind of little skeptical about using technology before COVID. That was very true, because I have been discussing with a lot of colleges about using technology in the way they manage professors and students. I've really talked with a lot of universities, and then that's why I'm saying this. But after COVID, things has completely changed. They are going to they're not only conducting classes online, they're they're conducting exams online. It's not the students just log in, get the question paper, write it in the paper and submit, scan the answer script and submit it. It's not that. I'm just talking about conducting the exam completely online, your 10-mark case studies, or it can be a little interactive. Okay, so the students have to really type in the exams, type in the answers for the exams, and that kind of portals are coming up very soon, especially in India. This is very, very new. Yes, there is a lot of foreign universities who have implemented this already, but in India it is very, very new, thanks to COVID. And then we have a tool for grading. So it's grading. It's actually an important part of education, because that's where after delivering your lecture, you have to really assess what the students have learned. right? So for that we have to do grading, but we have to spend a lot of manual hours in this process. And because of that, a lot of man time has been spent by the professors in grading. So actually that's kind of it's not a bad thing, but still you can make your professors do something else, some more important work than this. So here there's a lot of tools using AI techniques. The grading process is kind of being automated. Okay, so you just have to like upload your student answers. The machine will like grade it and give you the scores. And if you want, you can really intervene and say, okay, is it possible, is it good or not? But still, and the manual intervention is always possible. But this automated grading is thing is also like getting more relevant nowadays. So what kind of new things this automated grading system can do? So it grades assessments automatically, and then it gives you the scores and feedback, as I was saying, and then it saves your professors time so that they can like use it on other things like research, mentoring the students when needed, and then learn more new things. So how this online education system, as well as this automated grading, online exams, help students? So actually it helps them to get really better class delivery, because the professors they spend more time on your class content, and then you don't have a pure pressure of like not listening to the class. I've been a student, yes, but if you are in a college, sometimes I think the students will definitely understand what I'm saying. So you really want to understand, sit and understand the class, but your friend says no, let's go to a movie, or let's bunk and just sleep in the hostel. Yes, I have done both of them. I have done a lot of other things as well. But this peer pressure is kind of like less right now in this time. So you can like really have a better class delivery, as well as you can have a good um, good listening and in the class, and then you can get like good guidance, and then on whatever projects that you're working on, so that you have a better chance to discuss with your professors one-on-one, so that you can get more help if you need it, if you're seeking for it. And then you have a lot of more free time. You can like uh, you don't have to commute maybe like 1 hour a day to and fro to your college. So at that time you can use that time for something else, and then you can also work on side projects. And there's a lot of students right now working on a lot of internships, part-time jobs, and then they're earning things, and they're also like trying to figure out what they really want to do after their graduation. So they're like doing a lot of things. I see a lot of students like using this time very productively, earning money, trying to explore themselves, trying to figure out what they really want to do after the graduation. Everything's happening. So I feel this online education is really helping students to grow. And how this kind of like helping the universities. So yes, they can really make their resource utilization well, because they don't have to um, spend their resource on unnecessary things right now. And there's a lot of money is being like saved, is being like saved, because the college doesn't have to run the operations physically. So bills like electricity bills, and then running the buses, and the other miscellaneous cost, all this kind of getting really less. And actually this administration cost is kind of more for a university than the education cost, than the cost that's spent on research, especially for the young universities. So this is a good thing for universities, and then they were able to like provide quality education. Yes, there's a lot of barriers when we like try to like work on the challenges, when you're like trying to stop when you want to like overcome all these barriers, we always think extra and put in more effort, so that we were able to like provide quality things. Yes, that's been happening, and they can also like spend more time in research when they get into this online grading, and on when they like do online exams. So they don't have to like make their professors to, you know, work in class monitoring, or in grading. So they can ask the professors to like do something else like research and publication, so that, you know, so that the brand equity of the college gets increased. Okay. So it's actually a very there is a lot of challenges as well. I'm just like only talking about how this virtual education and this technology is actually has an impact on the education system right now, especially in the Indian scenario. But there's a lot of challenges as well currently. So being since we have both students and then potential educators and current educators in this session, I just want you to, you know, just think and try to comprehend and what uh, is this virtual education is really effective right now. If yes, just list few points. If no, list few points. If you think okay, there's both positives and negatives, you can just, you know, list it, take a couple of minutes, list, so that we can like discuss after that. Okay, so right now we'll just like, you know, going to do the small activity. Okay, just list how this virtual education is effective, and then list, if you think it is not effective, list the challenges. You can just have it as like the opportunities and challenges from your experience. Don't like, you know, write it based on your understanding, or just like based on what you've learned, or what you have like studied, like browsing or something like that. I wanted to like write that based on your experience. Maybe you might have like had you know, poor internet connection at home, so for you this experience of like learning virtually may not be good. So in that case, list that out.
So yes, ma'am, like it is effective to a certain extent. Like you, as you said, the class delivery is all good. Currently we have like 6 teachers, 6 subjects. So all
Mhm.
those subjects are interesting to a certain extent in some classes, and the delivery is pretty good. But the thing is, for the entire day, it is difficult to sit online and listen to all the classes. It's really tiresome. Mind is getting tired easily. So more than 1 hour, it's difficult to sit in a class and listen when it's come
Okay.
to virtual classes. If it is like physical classes, it will be better. It will be less tiresome. That's how I mean.
Okay, so it's like you don't like to sit in front of laptop and then
Yeah,
listen.
it's really tiresome, and yeah, my health is getting affected. Like all students' health is getting affected because of this.
Yeah, so that's a major feedback that we get from the students as well as the parents. But imagine when you get into a job, no, most of the jobs right now you have to like sit in front of a machine. It can be anything. So I think we all have to get used to it. But you making kids in the age of 5 or 6, we are making them to sit for like 4 hours, 5 hours a day. Yes, that is also like difficult, but we don't have, you know, any other choice.
Ma'am, I feel that it is one side positive,
Mm-hmm.
because the teacher is able to know about each and every child personally, because like when she is in the class, she won't be able to see the performance of each and every child in detail. But in online class, like even when they attend test, everything gets corrected on its own and she gets the mark easily. Like she is able to see how much one particular child is scoring after each and every class, so we'll be able to understand the performance of the child very easily, ma'am.
Yeah, very true, very true. So are you like using any kind of such technology, Shalini, right now?
Ma'am, I'm actually working with a company called as Lido.
Mm-hmm.
So we are doing online they are doing online classes.
Okay.
So when I present things, so after every topic we give them activities, quizzes. So for example, if I'm teaching about excretion, I give them like after I explain after 2 or 3 slides, I give them activities to check for understanding. So
Okay.
I will be getting a result, like whether they have done it correct or whether they have done it wrong. If at all they have done it wrong, I will be able to explain them what is wrong with that.
Okay. So,
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm Angel, ma'am.
Hi.
Actually, I feel this. Hi, ma'am. I felt that this virtual class actually more than students, the parents are attending in the session, ma'am. I came to know because some of my friends who got married, they are attending the class instead of their children attending the session. So if the children is in front of us, we can understand whether they have understood or not, whether they are listening carefully. I think the better way of understanding the students as well as knowing them is better in our traditional class. That is, in our physical classes will be more better than this online class, I feel, ma'am.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Sometimes when you like force your 3-year-olds or like 5-year-olds to sit in a class, yes, that's going to be really really difficult. So this kind of virtual education may not suit the kids who are like less than 10, because they are like tend to move around, learn things by doing, right? So to make them understand what is green color, you have to show them the green color, and then you have to make them understand what is a square rectangle. To show them, you have to make them touch it and see it, right? So
Yes,
for that,
ma'am.
for the kids who was like until grade 4, grade 5, making them understand all these things on through virtual education, it's going to be really really difficult. But I this is going to be little thing if the kids are kind of little mature enough to sit and manage their laptops on their own, manage their meetings, online sessions on their own, mute unmute and talk, and then so that's going to be like a good thing. So Angel, like which class you are teaching? Are you like teaching the kids or college students?
Now, actually, I'm working, I'm part of virtual teacher academy. Now, my
Sorry,
name is
Angel, I
Srini
couldn't.
Abiga, ma'am.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you properly. There was a lot of background noise.
Hello.
Ma'am, you are not audible,
Can
ma'am. Hello.
you hear me, ma'am?
Angel, I think there's a lot of background noise at your end. I couldn't hear your question.
Ma'am,
Angel,
Angel, she was teaching earlier for the school, but she's not teaching anymore, ma'am. She was teaching until middle school. She was taking English.
okay, okay. So she was teaching online or
No, ma'am, offline.
okay, okay.
Ma'am,
So I
one
think
more thing I would like to add.
okay.
So, see, in two ways I take classes. When I take classes with Lido, because they are very interactive and the child has to respond each and every time. Every child has to respond, so the children are able to grasp it. Whereas one of my students' mother, like when I spoke to her some time back, she told me, "Ma'am, the classes are making him very bad. So he switches on the class and goes for cycling. So that boy is in fourth standard." So I was not able to give any answers. I said instead of doing it, you can like just don't attend the class. Like she was telling, the school is asking for attendance. That's the reason even I don't deny him from doing cycling. So by this, like I'm able to understand that in their curriculum they are not having interactive classes. So if it is online, it should be interactive.
Yes, Shalini, I completely agree. So, making children listen to class, it's actually, especially in this tough times, lies in the hands of a teacher, because we have to make it more interactive, more lively. It is a great challenge for the teachers and professors right now, because and there's a lot of students, even the grown-ups, they just like log in and then just they go to YouTube, they surf, or they get into social media. It's been happening, yes, even right now, even if they're in the day-to-day physical classrooms, in the classrooms, we cannot expect all the 60 children in your class to listen to what you're saying and then understand everything. So usually in a class, I mean, that's what any teacher would want. Even I want all my 60 students to understand everything what I'm saying, but unfortunately that's not the case. So only, like, 50% or 50 to 70% of the children only will be like listening what we are saying, even if we have a good class. And for that 50% to 70% of the children, like, few will be able to understand everything. Only 10% of the students will be able to understand everything, or they're interested in listening to us. And the few people will be having a problem with the attention span. It's not like, we are doing bad things and they're not perfect and the kids are not perfect. It's not like that. Some people are like that. We cannot do anything. So even in our day-to-day regular classes, especially when you're handling second grade and third grade kids, they'll be like running around sometimes, and then they'll not be like listening. So it's going to happen even in our online sessions. So this virtual education may not be good for kids who's less than grade 5, but we have to go with the flow. So even if they just miss one class, because they want to like ride a bicycle on that day, that's fine, it's okay. So in that case, maybe the parent who is like staying home, or even if they're working, they can like take some time in the weekend or in the evenings when they're free, sit with them when they do their homework, because usually for each of the topic that we teach, we'll be giving assignments or homeworks, right? So at that time, the parent who's like is a current caregiver on the education side as well, they have to like spend time on that, because that's the way we can do. So we can't make everything perfect right now, because it happens. Even like we were like studying a few years back, because we were going to college and we were school students. At that time, I don't think that we understood everything, and we like listened to each and every word of whatever teachers said. So even lot of people, lot of successful people, yes, they have bunked classes, they have like have not submitted few assignments. I think that's fine, because when we just sit on the other side of the table, and then we always want our students to be perfect, and then we want them to like listen to each of the words that they say. We want them to like submit all the assignments, because I was also, when I started like uh, teaching in the initial days, I was expecting that. But sometimes, yeah, that's fine, because sometimes life happens, and especially kids, they have some interest. But if you kind of force them, they might like lose interest in the subject. As it happens at a very early age, it's okay if they ride a bicycle for one class bunking, it's fine. But if it like kind of happening frequently over a period of time, then we have to like sit with the children, and we have to like talk to them in a way they understand. Yes, it's going to be really tough. I'm not saying it's an easy job, because I also have a toddler at home. I'm also like struggling with whatever that we are saying, and then me working, and then if my daughter like miss a class, I just like try to sit with her when I'm free, and then talk to her, and try to make her understand, because that's what I'm been following. I know it's not like easy, it's difficult, but we all have to like do that, because at the end of the day, we want our children, or kids, to learn everything, to know at least things to an extent, so that they can like able to deal with the life or move on to the next grade.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, this is from a student's point of view.
Okay.
I do not know, like a lot of teachers are there, but please don't get me wrong. The thing is, ma'am, I feel that online education, like I think, according to our Indian traditions, we've been taught to go to school. Like even the concept of homeschooling is new to us. So in that case, ma'am, my parents always say that you go to school not to learn, not only to learn, but also to develop, like only when we are in put up in a social setup away from our parents, we'll know how to, especially in school, we'll know how to talk to people, how to make friends, how to socialize. But I feel that because of this online education, the child is unable to interact or talk to the even because if it's a new student or a new batch altogether, they don't even know who their classmates are. They can't make friends or they can't talk anything apart from the and apart from the classes they don't move along. So do you think that in online class all the soft skills what we learn in offline, we will be able to learn in online as well? Is there any possibility like that? Or
Yeah, sure, Kanchan. I thank you for this question. I can like try to share my experience on this. Okay. So this actually applies to people who I mean or the students who are like above like grade 8 or something, because um, like the kids like who are like very young, they have to really get into school, they have to like mingle with the other kids so that they're able to like understand what is life, how things work, and they're able to like communicate, and they'll be able to develop social skills and everything. So I'm not like touching that area, so I'm like talking about kids who are like in their teens or like after that. So I received my online education, my online masters in 2017, 2018. Okay. So actually I wanted to travel and then study. Yes, I really want to do it. I've got a lot of opportunities. I got admitted to a lot of um, big universities abroad, but I couldn't go it because of a lot of commitments. So I just took up this online program. So what happened is like um, I had a lot of people like me sitting at different places who just like log in at 9 a.m. and be with me like until in the evening. So we'll be like, meeting all our professors virtually. We'll just, chat through videos, video calls, and things like that. And then we had discussion forums where you can just, if you are like having a trouble with doing an assignment, or if you have any doubts, sometimes, you cannot like ask. Doubts in the classes, so there was like a lot of forums to connect with the professor, in the through discussion forums where you can just post a question, the professor replies, and then sometimes the other students also comment about it. And then if you want to make it public, yes you can, otherwise if you want to be private chat between professor, you can do that. So it was kind of a virtual discussion happening. It was like in a classroom setting, so it was good. And the social skills, I would say, I kind of like developed skills on how to interact online, how to like communicate with people from different backgrounds through that through that program. So it was a great opportunity for me because I was the only person from Tamil Nadu. I was the only person who can speak Tamil, and I was only female there. I was the only woman, so it was like kind of little difficult for me, but I kind of got along well, and it was a good experience. So I think we all have to like learn things like that. So even if the students, the college grads right now graduate and get into a job, most of the jobs right now after this pandemic, it's going to be um, happening remote. So I think we always have to get into this kind of situation. I heard a lot of companies right now, including Microsoft and Google, and they are like providing making their employees work remote if they for the complete lifetime, if they are willing. And I see a lot of MNCs right now, closing their lease with office premises because they are not planning to reopen the office over a period of time. So so they're like kind of wasting money on their rent. So they kind of like closing the places, especially the big MNCs in the IT parks. So it's happening. So this is going to be the future. So I think we have to like learn how to socialize virtually and move along. So we are learning social skills and the way how we behave, and we have to like learn our behaviors and attitudes how to like express ourselves virtually. And yes, and if you want to like understand things on a personal side, yes, you have to make friends, go out, socialize, figure out, make do parties. But on the professional side, yes, this is the only thing. And there's a lot of meetups, groups happening um, for each of the technical skills. So if you want to like learn some data science, or if you want to like learn software development, there's a lot of groups, public groups available. You can just go and join them and then learn about it. But still, that groups right now, it's happening, a lot of meetup groups right now, it's like hosting their meetings online. So this is going to be the case at least for the next few years, until the vaccine gets ready, mass produced, administered to each and every person in the whole earth. So we have to live with this, I guess. I'm sure, I'm not sure whether I've answered your question. So, Kanchan?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's kind of a tough time. Yes, we have to deal with it. So we have to like make most of it.
Correct. Ma'am, but how to bring about that, because each person in this WWTA, each candidate deals with a different subject. So
Okay,
is
okay.
there any possibility to bring about the same interactiveness using the different technology apart from Zoom or Google Meet or quiz apps? Are there any like demo or something like that that they can do? Virtual
Yeah,
projects.
yeah. They can actually, for example, if they're like teaching math, so usually we have to like work it out. Everything is actually, you can teach anything online except for math. I can see the difficulty the math teachers facing right now, because you have to make kids do the math, and you have to really really check what the other kids are doing. So as a teacher, you just go around and then understand things. We say check their notebooks whether they're doing, if there's wrong, we just go and give an individual attention, we talk to them. But this is kind of difficult, especially for the math teachers. So for them, there's a lot of apps available. So you just a teacher has to like log in and then teach the lessons online, share their screen. They show how addition works, multiplication works. And then the student also have to log in that portal. So the same problems that the teacher is solving, they also get to see that in their screen, as a web page. Okay. So they have to click through and then make make addition, subtraction without writing. They'll be like clicking through things. So there's a lot of schools are not doing it right now, but we have White Hat Juniors, Byju's. They have that kind of opportunities where as a teacher you can do that. And then you can learn. You have a lot of Khan Academy videos. So this kind of other platforms, they are like kind of uh, not free. It's not, you have to like, as a college or a school, you have to pay for that. But Khan Academy, it's completely free. You can just enroll yourself as a teacher, and then you can enroll your kids with their email IDs, and they can just log in, and then you can like teach at the same time. You can give homeworks, you can ask them to like do this problems. You can assign them, and then they have to like do it, and then if they're done, you get feedback about how your kids are doing. So that kind of things you can try. So there's and actually the schools have to develop this kind of tools, or they have to like subscribe with already available tools. It's actually a little comparatively costlier. And few international schools in other countries have kind of started doing this already. So maybe in Indian schools, things might come a little late, but I've seen a lot of teachers using this kind of tools already. Few teachers on their own interest. And I would suggest you guys to like explore Khan Academy, because most of them you are like teaching kids in the middle school and primary school level. Please try to log in as a teacher in Khan Academy and try to leverage that resources for your students. That's going to be a very great experience with your kids. And they can also like have a parent login as well. So the parents can also like monitor what they're doing. There's a lot of things available, options available right now.
Thank you, ma'am.
And if you want, maybe I can show how it looks like. I think you guys can like figure it out. You just have to like go to Khan Academy website, log in as a teacher, give your credentials, and then do it. So any other challenges that you have noted down, or do you think this online virtual education is effective? So any other points that you
Hello,
guys
ma'am.
have? Yeah, hi.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, regarding the home, ma'am, you be given homework knowledge for the students, some assignments.
Angel, I think I have problem hearing you.
One second, ma'am, 1 second.
Ma'am, regarding the assignments, ma'am, we'll be giving assignments, no, ma'am. If it's like what to say, if it's our physical classes, we can give homework and we can check it out. But what about the in online classes? Do we have any other app for doing like that, ma'am?
Yeah,
For this
you can do that. You know, there's a lot of so may I know like where you're teaching, and so that I can and what you're teaching for which group of students, so that I can able to answer you well.
actually now I'm at training, ma'am, so I don't know
Okay,
which
okay.
channel is
So
it.
yeah, sure. So there is a lot of Moodle available, and online open source platform where you can just log in as a teacher. You can make your students enroll there. So whatever things that you are like teaching, you can share all your materials for the students, and then the students can see it, download, and then use it. And also like you can like post an assignment. You can post your questions there. The students can submit their answers there.
Oh,
Okay, so you can see
okay.
their they have to take a picture of what they've did. They have to upload, or they can just type it in, if they're college grads, they can just type their answers and then upload, so you can see that, and then you can grade them. Okay,
Oh, okay.
and it's free. And then this Google Classroom, it's actually an application which is kind of free for all the education institutions and schools. So there you can like post your assignments. The students can answer the questions, and then you can grade it. So even you can if you're running a quiz, it will be graded automatically. So you don't have to go and check all the answers and give marks. To be graded automatically, you will just get your what do you say, answer sheet. Mark sheets. And there's a lot of other tools like exam.net. So where you can it's actually a paid tool, but you can use a trial version to conduct exams. Okay, so there also you can like host exams, where you can monitor your students. Okay, so it's actually a
Oh,
free tool for
okay.
trial, where the students can like write exams keeping their screen on. So even if they like open a new tab, they'll be like, you will be notified. You can remove them from the exams, you can give them negative marks. So even if they're like kind of moving away from their webcam, you know
Okay, ma'am.
that will be like be notified. So you can just tell them, even the whole class will be like logging at the time. You can say, oh, for example, if Avinash is like logging moving away his head, or you hear some of the noise in his room, that will be like notified. You can ask like, oh, okay, Avinash, who's in your room, or apart from you, or like you, what are you like referring right now? You can just tell, and the whole class can hear it. Okay, so
Oh,
it is kind of a little embarrassing to them. So I don't I'm kind of using such tools, so that's why I'm saying all this. So this is available, and few other tools. Examly, it's actually, this Examly tool is actually developed by a software company in Coimbatore. Okay, so where you
Okay.
can like, conduct exams, provide quizzes and assignments. Yeah, it's kind of really, really popular throughout the country right now. And you have Metal. There's a lot of tools available right now for this.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you for your answer, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, okay.
Mom?
But some students, what they are doing is they are putting their notebooks in front of the laptop,
Mm-hmm.
as if the teacher cannot see, and they are writing the exams.
Okay, okay.
So what can we do in this case?
No, you have to tell them to switch on their webcam.
Yes, ma'am. Even if they switch on the webcam, there is a
Mm-hmm.
place where the teacher won't be able to see, right? If I put my, for example, see now, you're able to see me. If I put my hand
Sorry,
on the
your
pen,
name?
you're,
Shalini.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. I can see
So
you now.
if I put my hand now, my hand is in front of the phone,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not able to see me, right? You're not able to see my hand.
No, I can't see. I just see your face.
Yeah. So they are placing it, their children have become so intelligent, they are placing it in a place where the teacher won't be able to see.
Okay, okay. So in that case, you have to like ask them to like place their laptop or a phone in the way so that you can like see their whole uh, view, like their both the hands, their face, and the tape. I mean, at least part of things that they write. So you can ask them to like place their cam little away from them so that they can you can like see.
Okay, okay, good idea, ma'am. Good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So in the actually that's what this exam.net tool that you're using, so that will actually really, really gonna help. So even so usually, when kids are like really, really writing something very, very serious, they'll be just writing, they'll not be like moving away their head and everything. So even if they move their heads, if the face kind of they're turning the direction of their face to some other direction, that will be like tracked. So you can just go to that, you'll be like notified. For example, Avinash is kind of turning or something, you'll be like notified, and then you can just go to that particular person and then see what he's doing, and then you can call it as name. So for example, if you have like 60 kids in the class, it will be like difficult for you, right, to check each of the person's webcam. So if you use this tool, you can really check all those 60 people, but still, for example, if you just like monitoring the roll number from 1 to 10, when the last person is like doing it cheating, we cannot figure out. So this tool will tell you which person that you have to look into.
Ma'am?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you please explain that automated grading thing again? Like, how does it work? Things like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. So it's actually not used by any of the universities in India. Only very, very few universities, one of the universities in Australia and a couple of universities in US have tried that, and few schools in US tried it. And your Pearson Pearson test for language proficiency, so they are using this kind of method where the students or any candidates who's appearing for the exam, they just have to like answer the questions. It can be handwritten and test, or it can be a test which happens online where you like give descriptive answers. If it is just 1 marks, like anybody can grade it. Okay, it's just like a rule based algorithms. But whereas here you have to like really understand, the computer has to understand what the student has written. So the professor who's setting the question paper, they have to give the sample answers. So it's sometimes take an example of college students, they'll be like referring different books, and if you like ask some question, the way of them answering may be really, really different, but everything can be correct. So because they'll be like referring a few other different books. So here the problem is for the professor, they have to really understand what are the possible answers for this, and they have to give different answers. So the questions get saved, as well as all the different answers for that particular question get saved. And when student submits this answers, it is like it will check for the similarity. So this is actually processed through data science technologies. It's actually called natural language processing. Okay, so Stanford, Stanford University is as a very good library for this. It is made open source. Only because of that, a lot of companies are working on this kind of technology right now. So for example, I can just say I am Ramya, or I can say my name is Ramya. So both is correct, right? So if I just like ask my question, what is your name? So if I just write in my keyword I give my name is Ramya. So my name is dash. That's what my keyword is. But I just wrote I am. So in that case, sometimes the machine will grade you wrong, right? But it should be like graded correct. So the professor has to like give possible answers. You know, sometimes they must just like say my name is Ramya Rajendran. People call me Ramya. My nickname is. So you can even write an essay, but sometimes that can be correct as well. So the computer has to really understand all this. So it should be having a very good understanding. So even if we don't give a possible correct answer, the computer should be able to understand that this is a correct answer. So this is done through natural language processing. There's a lot of researchers currently working on it, and it is kind of successful, but it's not like super successful because the accuracy is comparatively less. So a lot of researchers and scientists are working on this currently, and only very few universities and this Pearson were able to like implement this right now. But because of this COVID and the online education platforms, especially Coursera and Udemy, they are like trying to get into this so that they'll be able to provide degrees very easily at a large scale. So that's what they're working on, and hopefully in very few years, this is going to be very, very yeah, good trend. This automated grading. When this comes up, I don't think the professors will be like wasting their time on this grading things. For schools, I think it's going to be a little interesting, and they'll be having very small tests. But for colleges, it's a very rigorous process, and you'll be having a lot of assignments to grade your mid semesters. You will be having semesters, a lot of things, right? So for college, it's very difficult.
Yes, ma'am. Seems like it will be a burden for like professors, college teachers, faculties, but on the school side it will be fine, I guess.
Yeah. So for schools, I think you until 5 or 6 grade, we can just manage with rule-based platforms where you just tell them, okay, how many pictures do you see? So they just have to like count and write. If it is 5 pictures, they say five. If it is six, it will be like given wrong. So there is like no possible different answers which may be correct. But maybe when they like start from college, it will be like different, especially if they were given application based questions. Until even grade 12, you will be having the keywords, so you will not be like asked application based questions, especially in the Indian education mode. So if you are like in until CBSE, and the matriculation syllabus that we are studying, so I don't think that we have to go for this automated grading. We can just deal with rule based gradings. But after CBSE, if the kids are like in IGCSE and our IB, so we don't have to deal with that because the grading doesn't happen in India, so we don't have a problem. But this kind of tool will be like very helpful for colleges.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Soundarya. So any other challenges in making your online education effective that you guys face, or that you think that you might face even if you're not teaching right now? Okay, so in that case, I would like you to show the demo of Khan Academy if I have time, if you're like okay with this, how it looks like, so that you can explore. Is it okay, Kanchan, or?
It's okay, ma'am. Like we'll ask them also to try it. Uh, Hello, is there any other candidates? Can you answer? Hello.
Yes, Kanchan.
Okay. Do you know how to use Khan Academy?
No, and I haven't used.
Okay, ma'am. Then in that case, I think it's it's necessary for us to show them a demo as to how it
Yeah,
can.
yeah, sure. I'll just show you how you have to log in. What are the resources that is available? It's actually free platform. It's kind of like very famous, and I think it's like started. It's has its headquarters in US, or I'm not sure, but it's like the person who's running it is an Indian, I believe, but I'm not like really sure about that. I'll just share my screen and then try to
Okay,
log in
ma'am.
there and try to show how it works, okay, as a
Sure,
teacher.
sure. Okay, okay.
Okay. Okay, I'll just log out, okay. Okay, so the URL is khanacademy.org. Okay, so you when you just like scroll up, you can just try to figure out what are things that you have. Okay, so here you have access for learners, teachers, and parents. Okay, so it's a free platform, so since you don't have to pay for it, you have an option for donation here, so you can just see what are the courses that is available. So from class 1 to 10 for all Indian um, syllabus, things are covered. So mostly it is based on CBSE, I believe. Okay, so if I think if it is IB or IGCSE and ICSE, I think more or less it will be similar. Maybe you have to like go skip few grades so that you'll be able to get into the content. Otherwise, you can just search for few content. Even for example, if you search for electromagnetics for grade 8, if it is like kind of some in some boards it will be taught in grade 7 itself. So you just the concepts remain the same. The where it is going to start be taught might differ based on the boards. Okay. Okay, so for math, you have from 6 to 10. Actually, for math, you have resources from kindergarten as well. Okay, so there's an app, a Khan Academy app for kids as well. So for math, for English and science. So as you can get that things there. Okay, so for science, arts and humanities, economics. Okay, so I'm just gonna log in. Okay, so I've logged in as an educator, so when you do it, that's how it you see. So you can create a new class. So I can just say test. So you can also, if you have a class already in Google Classroom, you can just go and do it. Okay, so maybe I'll try to like import my classroom from CIT. Okay, so I'm kind of teaching machine learning. Okay. So actually, no, we don't have resources for machine learning here, but I'm just try to import here. I don't want any of my current students to get an email on this. Let's see. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, they got invitations from Khan Academy. Okay, that's fine. I can tell them later. So you can choose for which class I have to add. So you have to really figure out which class you want them to add. For example, I want them to study statistics. pre-calculus, calculus, and multivariable calculus, and differential equations, and linear algebra. Actually, these are the requirements for your ML, right? So I'm just, making them added here. So if you want, I'm not gonna add SAT here. So here I have to like list my school. So it's usually for US, so you have to like click on other country, and then you have to, choose India. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So you can just see this is my student list. So if I just want to give this class code to any of the other people, they can just log in, and then if there is any assignments, I can just go and post it here. So all my lessons of statistics is here. So I can just go and then assign this to my students. Okay, so when I assign this, so they should be like asked to do this only this video, and then for each of the videos there will be like exercises they are supposed to like answer. It's actually MCQ, but to answer for that MCQ, they have to really understand the concepts by watching the video, and then it's actually a 10-mark question or 5-mark question. They have to really solve it and then choose the right answer. So only if they like get 80% or 90% on each of the quiz, they can go up to the next stage. So here I'm just going to assign these two things for my students. So I'm going to give them the due date, and then when you can like give the due date and then assign. So you can just try to give a different question set for each of the students, so they don't have to copy. So all these things you can just do. So I don't want to give an assignment right now. Okay, so all your scores comes in up here. So if you use this, we really don't have to teach at all. Okay, so we just have to like design the curriculum, and then we have to tell them to like watch the videos and give write the exercises. You get to know their scores, and it's actually very, very interactive. If you want, I can like show you some of the videos also for this. So it's going to be really, really interesting. Okay, this is the lesson, this is the quiz. Okay, okay, so this is the lesson looks like.
We're told that millions of Americans rely on
okay, so for see, you just have to like watch this 2-minute video, and then one more exercise. You have like 4 questions for which is like related to this video, and then you have a video for 2 minutes for and then you have exercise 4 question and MCQ. So it looks like that. Okay, so for me it's just one topic, but under that I have like a few topics and few quizzes. So if you do that, even if the kid is like cycling when the class is happening, they can just do it later, understand the concepts, and then answer it. Very few schools have adopted this in India, but like a lot of schools in US, Australia, in Europe, they are using this content. So any questions on this?
No, ma'am. From my side, no. I'm clear with this.
Okay.
No, ma'am. Clear, ma'am.
Clear. Okay. I mean, this is just one of the tools that I've showed you. There's a lot of tools available like this, but most of the time it's paid. But Khan Academy is like kind of being generous. It was trying to educate, help the teaching community. That's why they are doing this. It's open source, so you can just try to figure out, even you can even if you're not allowed to use Khan Academy in your classes in your schools or colleges, you can, for learning, for preparing materials, you can try Khan Academy, because there's no copyright issue. It's actually it's a non-profit education organization, which is started by an Indian.
Ma'am,
Yes,
can you
okay.
please tell us similar links to Khan Academy where teachers might be benefited out of this?
Yeah,
Similar sites to
there's
Khan
a lot of
Academy.
other things available, but they're kind of little paid versions. Even
Oh,
in
okay.
India, we have Byju's. It's kind of an app where you can just log in as a student and then try to understand. And there's few startups are also working on this. You have White Hat Junior, where it's based on instructor. You have an instructor to learn few codings. You
Hmm.
have GUVI. So GUVI is actually sponsored by IIT Delhi.
Hmm.
So that is also available, but where you cannot, the teachers don't have access to it. Okay, so you have to enroll and pay, and then the teachers of that particular company will teach you. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
but for college students, you have platforms like Udemy, Coursera, edX, Udacity, Code Academy, Skillshare. All these things are available. But
Okay.
for Udemy, it's and Coursera, you have to really pay for that. But Coursera is right now providing free courses for the students only during this COVID time, only for this 2020.
Okay, ma'am.
For a while, so the students can they can enroll themselves, and then they can use it. And you have NPTEL, which is kind of Coursera from India. So professors of IIT and IIM, they provide courses here. So you can also enroll there. NPTEL is free; you don't have to pay anything for college kids. But for Coursera, it is kind of like an international standard where you have to pay, where you can get courses from professors from top universities like MIT, University of California, and Pennsylvania, and then Harvard, Stanford, and everything.
Ma'am, I also joined in this new thing. It's from Deccan Herald. I think now the name is changed. The thing is, they offer courses which are free, and for every video we watch, we get points, and we can redeem those points for Amazon vouchers. And if we get a really good point number, we can also buy an iPhone with that points. That too is that's by Times of India also. Like they have also contributed. I don't remember the name, but it seems quite genuine.
Okay, I have not heard of it. What is it called?
Ma'am, actually, I don't remember the name, but I've enrolled in it. I seriously don't remember the name, but it's some Yoda or something, some tech Yoda. I don't remember the name actually. But if you watch a video, we shouldn't fast forward it. We have to watch it fully. For every video or every lesson we watch, there'll be points added to our this thing for our account. And with the points that's available, we can redeem it for this thing for Amazon vouchers or coupons, or if you get 65,000 points or something, we can even redeem it for a T-shirt or like proper branded T-shirt, or even if something more than that, we can even redeem it for an iPhone or an Alexa.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so there are things like that also that came. I know it's some Yoda, but I don't remember the first name.
Okay. So just share it if you can when you get to know, so that everybody will get.
Sure,
to get
ma'am.
to
Sure,
know that.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am. That's it's time. Can we wind up?
Yeah, we can. So I think I took like 30 more minutes extra. So
No, ma'am. It was
I'm
very informative. Actually, we wanted more, but then it seems that the students are having classes.
Oh, okay. So I'm really sorry for holding you guys up. So it's a good time for me as well. So I get to like interact with different people. So if you got any clarifications, or if you have any doubts, please reach out to me. So Kanchan has my phone number and email ID. Please get it from her. And I have problem with my phone, so please don't try to connect with me through phone for the next couple of days. I have some issues with my phone. I couldn't answer or reply. So you can just write to me through my email if you got any doubts, if you need any help on the education resources, because I'm kind of totally passionate about education. And then I'm also like very happy to like interact with people who are like interested in getting into education. So it's actually a noble profession, and then you should have a real passion for it. Otherwise, over a period of time you might get or feel demotivated. I've seen a lot of people who gets like down when they are in, because sometimes you have to overwork. Yeah, in every job you go you have to sometimes overwork, but here you might get stressed, but get geared up for all this. Try to understand what's going to come next and what is going to be your career path. Fix it and work on it. Because you have to really do that, because the way the education is like going to be done in the future, it's going to be completely different, and the skill set required by the industry is going to be completely different. You have to be proactive. And usually in the olden days, when people say you want to be a teacher or you're a professor, people say, oh, okay, that's a very leisure job, you can just enjoy, you can have a lot of vacations, you can have time, you can come home early. People always say that, but things are completely different right now. You have to be at par, and because you are the people who are making other generation knowledgeable, you are actually creating the next generation, the next future. And I believe the role of teachers in schools is they have more responsibility than the college professors, because we just have the good minds, they're already like developed minds. We just have to like teach them what is what. We have to like take them to the next step. But the teachers who are like teaching school kids, they actually I really like started appreciating them when I have to like homeschool my kid right now during this pandemic. Now I realize the hardships that they're going through, and they're really doing a great service to the nation. I completely believe in that. So thank you for choosing this profession. Don't have a second thought. Have a career path, work on it, and try to get enrolled in a lot of forums. Try to explore a lot of new tools in this area, so that you'll get focused. You know what's happening in the industry. Stay updated. Yeah, that's all I have. And thank you, Kanchan and Soundarya, for this opportunity. I had a great time talking to um, the new crowd, especially Angel and Shalini. Thank you for being interactive. I see you are very much interested in what you're doing. I'm sure you're going to go places. So all the best.
Thank you so much, Sue, ma'am. It was very much interactive section. Thank you for so much guidance, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Please stay in touch if you wanted to. You can get my email ID from Kanchan. Yeah. Thank you
Okay,
so
ma'am.
much.
We'll get it. Thank you.
Ma'am, before you leave, I just want to tell one thing, ma'am. Thank you for being very supportive. Actually, this we I feel that we had the right person to guide us through the right topic, and we really enjoyed the session. And when it coming from a teacher, I feel that that too. It's a very from a very experienced teacher. You sharing so many important and informative things, which as a student as well, I felt I was aware of it, and it enriched my knowledge too. So thank you once again, ma'am, for accepting the invitation, and for coming and attending, or to take over the guest lecture, ma'am. We are very happy that you accepted the invitation. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, sure,
Thank
Kanchan.
you
It's my
very much,
pleasure.
ma'am.
Yeah,
It was
thank
very
you.
insightful and very informative session. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with us.
Yeah, sure, Sandhya. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I'll mail you the recorded session as well as the chat transcript.
Yeah, please continue. Yeah, sure.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. I'll log
Bye.